Hello, this is Sith Rain, and although it's a bit late, I wanted to bring you my thoughts on the new Star Wars movie, Star Wars VII: The Force Awakens. In the background, you'll probably see some gameplay of Republic Commando or any other Star Wars game, maybe even Battlefront 2. Tell me in the comments if you want to see any gameplay commentary on this channel, or if you would rather that I stuck with the types of videos that I make now. Anyways, getting into my thoughts on the movie. Contrary to what many of you may think after knowing my respect for the alternate universe, the expanded universe, I enjoyed the movie for what it was. Putting my personal feelings aside, of wanting to hate the movie, I felt that this movie brought up a lot of new questions, many of which have the potential to lead to very interesting scenarios in the future, and will be addressed in this video. Also, this movie brought back the Empire vs. Rebels atmosphere that is iconic to Star Wars and made it what it was. Seeing the old actors, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher, interact once more on a Star Wars set was a sight to behold. And for many of the older generation, is an extreme nostalgic factor that this movie brought with it. The new actors, Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, both previously not very well known, did a great job portraying the two protagonists, Rey and Finn. And apart from Finn's constant screaming during the expository scenes, I loved how he and the other actors were able to build such strong character relationships in such a short time. Because all these other characters like Luke, Leia, Han Solo, Chewbacca, just to name a few, have had the opportunity to build incredibly complex and diverse character relationships and develop them throughout not only the original trilogy, but also the expanded universe. As much as Disney and Lucasfilms right now may deny the importance of the EU, you cannot dismiss its importance in bringing new light to all these iconic characters and making them as deep and as close to human as possible. And it can't be only me that, after reading a Star Wars book or playing a Star Wars game, you can literally imagine yourself in the world, in the universe of that particular medium of Star Wars. In my opinion, this is the strength of the Star Wars universe. And this is the influence that it can have on one's entertainment as well as one's just life in general. Ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that the expanded universe is not just a large part of the Star Wars franchise, but the core of what made many Star Wars fans into Star Wars fans. Yeah, anyways, I got a bit carried away there, and back to the movie. Although I liked the movie, I couldn't help but feeling conflicted while watching it. A lot of people that are fans of channels such as mine, and Grey Jedis, and Evan Novas will understand that the feeling of watching particular scenes in the movie and feeling that's not supposed to happen. Secondly, the disuse of the Sith and the creation of the Knights of Ren. I didn't dislike it. I found it really interesting, although it threw me off a bit, and made me wonder just who Snoke was. And after reading many of the comments on my Plagueis video, and comparing the soundtracks, I feel that Plagueis may be Snoke. Like, it's not a completely forgotten possibility. Ultimately, I predict that Snoke is hiding his identity as Sith and looking for a true apprentice, much like Sidious did with Count Dooku as he waited for Anakin. Although Sidious did plan to rid himself of Anakin later on, if a stronger apprentice came by. And I feel that Snoke is just using the Knights of Ren, again, much like Sidious and Count Dooku used General Grievous and the Confederacy. Basically, I feel that the Sith will return to the Star Wars universe. This won't be the last we've seen of them. And just in case that happens, I called first. Third, I have serious issues with the 3 different factions that appear in this movie, but just in case, before going into my opinions, just in case many of you haven't read the new books, I'll give you a brief explanation of what happened after Episode 6 and before The Force Awakens. So, with the previously great empire reduced to a mere fragment of its former glory, due to the Galactic Concordance, which was signed between the New Republic and the Empire, and it was basically the Treaty of Versailles. It's a parallel World War I. Anyone? Anyways. The major ruling parties of the Empire fled to the unknown regions. There, away from the scrutinizing eyes of the Republic, the First Order was eventually formed from the remnants of the old Empire, and was led by many of its former officers. Growing in size and strength, the First Order came under the command of Supreme Leader Snoke, a powerful dark side Force user, and his apprentice, Kylo Ren. Snoke's elite squadron of Force users, the Knights of Ren, would go on to hunt down and destroy Luke Skywalker's attempt at restarting the Jedi Order, and prepare for war against the New Republic. With the First Order becoming an increasingly powerful threat, prominent members of the Republic voiced concern over its rapid mobilization for war, with the most vocal being Leia Organa. However, the Senate did not listen to her pleas, and she eventually used her influence as a member of the former alliance to form the Resistance, a secretly Republic-funded military force that would serve to stop the First Order. Okay, so that's all you need to know, and if you want to read more, you can check out some of the books down in the description. Now that we know this, let me, as Leia Organa did, voice my opinions of the New Republic in this movie. Having a screen time of approximately 5 minutes, the New Republic was largely anticlimactic, and, spoiler alert, was eliminated, as if they were just an insect under the foot of the First Order. I get that Disney and Lucasfilms, in general, just wanted to portray the Starkiller Base and the First Order as a powerful, even unstoppable force that paralleled the likes of Darth Vader and the Empire under Sidious. But I felt that this was way too extreme of a way to deal with it. A Senate that has lasted 4,000 years, then reformed through severe difficulty, with the help of legends such as Luke, Obi-Wan, Han Solo, and Leia, is just dissipated instantly without any interaction with the audience. Honestly, I don't believe that there is any actual rationale behind this. And if any of you viewers have opinions, please leave them in the comments. From here, this last part will contain spoilers and very heavy ones, so if you haven't watched the movie yet, which is very unlikely, but still, I account for all exceptions, stop watching this video now, and move on to my other videos, please, and subscribe. Adam Driver and his portrayal of Kylo Ren was magical. He did an extraordinary job reducing the ominous, foreboding figure of Kylo Ren into an angsty, even wannabe Anakin, emotional rash boy. His voice strangely fit the character, and anyways, at this point, everyone knows that Kylo Ren is Ben Solo, the son of Han Solo and Leia Organa. And the scene where Han and Kylo meet on the bridge of the Starkiller Base, and where Kylo just breaks down before his father and professes his hurt, not as the enemy, but as a son and a lost man, one last time before driving his lightsaber into Han. It was just amazing. Afterwards, watching Chewbacca, a character that all Star Wars fans immediately associate with Han, go on that killing spree and destroy the entire base out of raw emotion nearly brought tears to my eyes. To say the least, that scene was incredible and will, in my opinion, be an iconic scene for the next generation of Star Wars fans, much like Luke's confrontation with Vader was for this generation. Thank you everyone for listening to my thoughts on the movie, and I'm sorry if I spoke a bit fast. I'm trying to push out content for you guys, and this is just part of it. And I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and New Year's, if that's come around now, although I'm not sure when this video is coming up. One of my friends, who's a little less well versed in Star Wars Expanded Universe, will give his opinion on the movie, and I feel this will provide a good contrast to my ideas, and to many of you, his opinions may be more agreeable than the ones that I present. But if you do not wish to listen to my friend talk about Star Wars in a more technical, first light point of view, then the lore-centric point of view that I present my videos in, now is a good point to stop watching. And to those who do, Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a good New Year's. Until then.
Personally, I love The Force Awakens. In my opinion, it's a great Star Wars movie. The characters were great, the acting was great, the visuals were great. Overall, the entire movie was really great. I had myself just grinning at the spectacles, including when the X-Wings approached from the horizon to Poe just completely obliterating TIE fighters left and right, to the final scene when Rey finally overcomes Kylo with the Force. Really, the CG, practical effects, and cinematography really tie in and make a great movie. Granted, there were some obvious green screen scenes, but for some reason, I found myself just forgiving the movie, probably because of all the solid effects prior to those scenes. The humor in this episode was also really cool, from BB-8 extending his lighter as a thumbs up to the two stormtroopers who noped out of there when Kylo was having another one of his tantrums. I didn't find myself laughing that much in the previous episodes. Well, maybe except for Anakin's absurd sand quote purely because of its terribleness, but honestly, the humor in this movie really fit in and made the movie more vivid and alive. The returning characters were fantastic. Harrison Ford was an absolute killer. Han Solo maintains his charm and his charisma, which was so memorable in the past. Especially in the scene where he and Leia meet for the last time. It really shows how much effort Ford puts into a character, and to me it's really tragic that the character was killed off. Oscar Isaac absolutely shone as Poe, giving him that extra depth to his character that made him all the more awesome. Adam Driver also did a great job of showing the scared, anxious, naive Kylo, even with just his eyes, which was quite a pleasant surprise. Needless to say, Rey and Boyega both did a fantastic job, and they show huge amounts of potential, and I'm really looking forward to how their characters develop in episodes 8 and 9. However, there were a couple things that felt a little off. For example, the nonchalantness regarding the Republic blowing up. The couple-second cutaway to the Republic just raises a bunch of questions. What is the Republic doing? Why is the First Order allowed to exist? Why is the Republic publicly funding the Resistance? Is there some kind of space Soviet-Afghani war? Near the end, Rey and Leia grieve over the loss of Han. But what about Chewie? Yes, we do see his angry rage and mow down a bunch of stormtroopers and then immediately go for the detonator, but Chewie was Han's partner for years. Shouldn't Chewie be grieving a little bit more near the ending scene? Anyways, that was honestly just nitpicking. Overall, the movie was fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to where the franchise is heading.